Кейsi, and actually my background at heart, I was a social worker at heart. That was my passion. But over the years I thought, well, I wasn't having much impact because I was working in these very convoluted bureaucracies. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just become a psychotherapist, where I could work one-on-one with people and have impact that way. So I proceeded to get my master's in psychology, and as I was going through that process, about halfway through, I kind of realized, well, this isn't it either. It just seemed very, it was very focused on people's dysfunction, and it didn't look very hopeful. And I just thought, wow, this isn't it either. So, and a lot of people have heard this from me. I thought, well, maybe I'll just go to chef school, because at least feeding people, that would make them happy. I mean, that's how discouraged I was. And towards the end of my training to get my master's, I was invited to go to a presentation on the principles. And it was a huge group of people, about over 100 people. And I was only there to just kind of be politically correct enough to get a job in the particular department that was sponsoring it, because I wanted to get my license, and to get your license you have to put in all these hours and get supervision. So there was a possibility of getting a paid position to do that. So that's why I showed up. I didn't know what it was called. All I know is somebody asked me to go, and I wanted to impress that person. So I just looked for the department name. Oh, here it is. I walked in. There was this huge group of people, and I knew none of them. And I sat near the door so that I could kind of make an appearance and kind of scoot out, because it was a 4-day seminar. And well, by 12 o'clock that first day, it hit me. I heard it, and it just stopped me dead in my tracks. And what it made me realize was, that explains everything in my life. So that's what for me, it was that. Oh, that's why all this stuff happened and I was about 45 at the time. So it's kind of like you hit your head like, oh, wow, is that what it was? So when I left that training that first day, I was like really high, like, wow, this is it. And then I realized, wow, if I could see this for me and it could help me, imagine what it would do if I could share this with my clients, because I was doing my internship. So that's how I got started. It was kind of being mandated into sitting there and then all of a sudden getting hit. And so I'm so grateful that I had presence of mind enough to just show up, and then allowed myself to somehow listen enough that I got hit with this. What I decided to do was to teach this to women, female inmates, because I was doing another project in the jail system. And I noticed that all the women were really stressed out, especially when they're on the phones, really stressed out about what's going on with their kids, what's going on at home. And I thought, wow, this might be helpful to them. So wrote a grant with Linda Ramus. She and I wrote a grant, and we got funded. And that's how we started. It was very soon after I'd heard the principles. And what we do now is, it's grown from just working with one class or one unit. Now we're teaching this throughout the whole jail system in Santa Clara County. And that's probably been the most amazing experience. With my limited way of teaching, believe me, very limited, they would pick up on this and have amazing insights. And also kind of like what happened to me. Oh, now I know why I'm in here. Oh, now I didn't know that's what addiction was. Oh, wow, now I know why all this stuff is going on in my life, because they attributed it to their external circumstances. And it gave them a kind of peace, whether they were getting out, or many of them that I teach are not getting out. Many of them are going to be doing very long sentences. But when they learn the principles, they tell me, I'll be able to go off to prison and be okay and understand. And to me, I would just get chills up my spine because they saw this way deeper than me or anybody else I know. I mean, a lot of times they would be in front of the judge, and the judge could see there was a difference. Something's different about this guy, because they see them all the time coming in and out of the system. And even the judges have stopped them and asked them, now, what happened to you? And so to me, this, and people always say, well, what would be the point of teaching this to people who are locked up? Like, they're locked up, who cares? Well, they're connected to families. And there are generations of, dads going to prison, and then the son follows suit. And so to me, I see that as an intervention. It'd be great to hit it first grade with kids, but unfortunately, that's where I am. And to me, what better way than to impact parents while they're locked up, whether it's a woman or a man. So to me, that's the point, is as they have an understanding and they kind of wake up to what's going on, why they are where they are, they can then have a whole different take on their children. And the biggest thing for a lot of these folks, some of them haven't been around their children because of their life. And it helps them be okay about that, because they feel so bad and so hopeless that they've deserted their families, deserted their kids, that kind of keeps them in place and kind of keeps them doing what they do, because it's kind of like, well, what's the point? I've ruined my life anyway, so, what's the point? There's no hope. So this definitely gives them hope about that, and that they can at least feel good about themselves, and that potentially they could reconnect with their families. Or if they couldn't, they wouldn't carry that weight as much as they used to. So to me, that's the biggest, and they've told me that's been the biggest gift to them, that's one less burden that they have. Because they can do the time, especially the guys. Well, I can do this time. But they think about the impact of their families. So, but anyway, I could keep going on and on about this. It's just been an amazing experience.